Hey everybody, Michelle Walker Wade here, and I'm coming today because a couple of people have asked me for my input on the 2012 Proposition 30 and Proposition 38. And since I am a CTEC tax preparer and also a public education employee, um, I'm a great person to respond to this question. And so I just want to give a little insight on the two propositions. I'll just give an overview, but what I'll do is I'll put a link to another YouTube show, um, a man named Daryl Jones, I think his name is. I'll put a link here, and you can he'll give you the full overview of Proposition 38, and he'll talk a little bit about Proposition 30. In a little while, he'll have a video uploaded on Proposition 30. But for now, I just want to give you an overview on Proposition 30, Proposition 38, what it means, how it all play out, and people have also asked me which am I voting for? How am I voting for them? I'm not going to tell you how I'm voting for them, but I will tell you, give you some insight to if I were to vote this way or that way, what my reason would be. Okay, so as far as Proposition 30 is concerned, Proposition 30 is called the Sales and Income Tax Increase Initiative. And the purpose of Proposition 30 is to, of course, raise revenues or funds for public education, and it's also for public safety. Now, what will happen with Proposition 30 is the sales tax, the state sales tax, will increase from 7.25 to 7.5. So right now, the California state tax sales tax rate is 7.25, and then depending on where you live, what county and what city you live, local taxes are added onto that. So for example, most cities in Alameda County have a full combined state and local sales tax of 8.75%. If Proposition 30 goes through, your sales tax will be 9%. So on your food, on your clothing, anything that you purchase that has sales tax added to it, your sales tax rate will increase from 8.75 to 9%. In the San Joaquin area, the cities with the two highest sales tax rates are Tracy and Manteca. So in Tracy and Manteca, the combined state and local tax is 8.25. You'll see an increase to 8.5. So that's one part of the tax increase that you'll see on Proposition 30. The other tax increase that Proposition 30 will also include is a state income tax increase, but it's only going to increase on high wage earners. So if your taxable wages are less than $250,000 a year, the only increase you'll see is in your sales tax. If it's more, did I say 250? Yes, 250,000. If it's more, then you'll see up to a 3% increase on your state income tax as well. Okay, and so right now state income tax is somewhere between 9.3% and 10.3%. You'll see that, 9.3% and 10.3%. You'll see that increase, so that the range of your state income tax could be anywhere from 10.3 to 13.3%. And they will retroact the sales tax rate for your 2012 income. So when you go to get your taxes done on April next year, 2013, get your taxes done on your 2012 income, your state tax will then be taxed at a higher rate. So this, for Proposition 30, the sales tax increases for that will be in effect for 7 years. Okay. What Proposition 30 is supposed to do is raise somewhere between $6.8 billion and $9 billion for public education and public safety. The money will go to K-12 schools. A large portion of it will go to K-12 schools, and a small portion of it will go to community colleges. Now, the question is, how will this money be spent? This measure supposedly takes away control from the state to be able to tell schools how they have to spend the money. So schools will pretty much be able to spend the money however they want to. There's only a minor stipulation about how much of the money can go to administrative costs, and the rest has to go to schools. To schools. And that's pretty much the only stipulation with the funding that will be raised with Proposition 30. Proposition 38, on the other hand, is called the Our Children, Our Future, Local Schools and Early Education Investment and Bond Debt Reduction Act. Now, that's a big name. Okay, here's the deal with Proposition 38. Proposition 38 will raise state income taxes for almost every California resident. Your state income tax for anyone who makes over $7,300 and some odd dollars a year will see an increase on their state income taxes. So the amount of money that you pay to the state on income that has been earned, you will see an increase in that. So pretty much everyone will have this increase in their state income tax. This act is supposed to raise about $10 billion a year. Now, one of the catches with Proposition 38 when it comes to the increase in the state income tax is this state income tax rate will be in effect for 12 years. So it's a 12-year increase. So with the Proposition 38, this money is as well as given to the schools. It's supposed to go directly to schools. 60% it's kind of broken up. In the first 4 years, 60% of it will be used for K-12 schools, and 30% will be used to repay a state debt, and 10% will be used for early education programs. And then after the first 4 years, then the revenues will go 85% for K-12 schools and 15% for early childhood programs, which also includes something that will start an early childhood education program from birth to age 3. And if you watch Daryl's YouTube, he'll talk a little bit more about that. Again, this funding is supposed to be taking control away from the state and giving it to the schools, which Proposition 38, there are more stipulations on what the money can be used for. So whereas Proposition 30, it goes to the schools, and as long as it's not all spent on administrative costs, the schools can pretty much, every local school decide how they want to spend the money. With Proposition 38, there's more stipulations included that will make sure that the monies are spent on the pupil. Okay, so with Proposition 30, some of the money could go to salary, it could go to back paying some pension, but with Proposition 38, it's more stipulated that it must go to pupil expenses. Okay, so where do I stand on it all? With Proposition 30, I would have to say that if I were to vote yes on Proposition 30, the reason would be because it leaves funding in the schools that isn't there right now. I can't say I foresee Proposition 38 making things better based on our current economic conditions. But with the funds from Proposition 38, perhaps things will not get worse. Things may get worse if Proposition 38 doesn't go through. 30 doesn't go through, or 30 or 38. Things could potentially get worse than what they are now. So if I were going to vote yes on Proposition 30, it would be just because I don't want to see things get worse for students. If I were to vote no on Proposition 30, is because I think it's too wide open. It leaves it up to the local schools to do whatever they want. So, like I said before, they could use it to pay pensions. They could use it to pay teacher salaries and maybe the things that schools have lost They may not see them back, or they could, but we don't know. It's up to the school district. Each individual school district will get to decide how they want to spend their money. So if one district says, we've got this problem, we can't meet our payroll, so we're going to take all our Proposition 30 money and just put it to payroll, and the same things that the students have lost already, they're not going to get them back, but they will get to keep a teacher or two or three. That's how the money will be spent. That's how that district will choose to spend the money. But another district may choose, maybe another district has laid off all their school counselors, and so when they get the Proposition 30 money, maybe they're going to use it to bring back some of the school counselors. That's a way that they're choosing to use. So you see, every district gets to choose how they spend the money, and it'll be decided at the local level. So I would just vote yes on Proposition 30 so that things don't get worse, not because I think things will get better. And that would be perhaps why I would vote no, is because things won't get better. Okay, as far as Proposition 38 is concerned, I think it's a good thing that they're putting in certain stipulations to make sure that every pupil gets to see the results of this funding. But the flip side, or maybe the bad side of it, why I might vote no on 38 is because it does come with so many stipulations. It's so rigid that a school may not be able to do what they need. So let's say a school really needs to reopen a library, or really needs to bring back that counselor. But because that counselor maybe is not, they can't tie it as closely to pupil success as they need to, maybe they can't bring that counselor back. So it's almost too rigid. My other concern with Proposition 38 is it's just too long. 12 years to have such a tax in place. And a program or a control in place. What if it doesn't work? We're stuck with it for 12 years. Imagine if you've got a child who's in first grade, their entire schooling will be with these rigid stipulations, and so that will be my concern with Proposition 38. I think you should listen to Daryl's, I'm going to put a link here, listen to Daryl's what Daryl has to say. He talks about it in plain English. You will be able to understand what's in the propositions after you listen to Daryl. Hopefully I have helped you in kind of thinking through, should you vote yes or should you vote no on Proposition 30 or Proposition 38. Now listen, both propositions cannot win. Only one can win. So if you're going to vote yes on either one, choose one. Don't vote yes on both. Vote yes on one and vote no on the other one. And that will kind of help to make your votes not cancel each other out. All right? Hope this has helped you. Have a great day.